Hi folks, it's John from lastchanceautorestore.com. I'd like to share with you an update. This is the 1978 Volkswagen Westfalia camper van or camper bus. This is Eileen. In some previous videos we've shared with you where we had pulled the engine and we have the engine disassembled and the reassembly or rebuild is continuing on the motor itself in our engine section here at Last Chance Auto Store. And our next step, we've done some assessing and some disassembly. So we've removed the spare tire and spare tire cover and bracket, and it's exposed some damage that's happened in the past and some changes here to the front. You can see we've got a nice big gaping hole here with no grommet for the bracket. We noticed quite a few things. This is kind of silly. Whoever put the headlights when they did the reassembly of this bus, you can see obviously we still have some masking tape, which is fine, just masking tape covering the paper, but we have these plugs, electrical headlight plugs, and you can see here where we have some exposed wires and we're relying on masking tape to kind of keep them safe. You can see the clip is broken here at the back, so rather than it shorting out, they're relying on masking tape in behind low beam and high beam headlights. So I think that's something we're probably going to change. It's surprising how many different things we find that people find to be acceptable. And then here they had broken where the marker lights go in and pop them in, so we'll be fixing it properly. So essentially what we've done is we've removed obviously the front bumper, the front cover, the vent. We took the windshield washer nozzles out. We've disconnected the windshield washer arms, and they're just kind of sitting because it's still in behind the dash here. So what we wanted to do is give me an opportunity to do some test sanding in different sections to try and figure out what's going on with the body and the paint finish. So it's pretty much what we expected, or I expected it was going to be when we started to assess this van. So some people had mentioned, wow, it's really shiny, it looks like a nice bus. And yes, from a distance, it is shiny and it does look nice. What the camera probably will not pick up is the body is extremely wavy. You can see, for example, on the sliding door here, I don't think the camera will be able to pick it up. But if we were to take a block and block sand the sliding door and this back panel, especially around the rear wheel well sections, basically from here down, the van is extremely wavy. So with waves, it generally means body filler or there's movement with different kinds of products, and that's kind of what we've discovered here. So you can see, instead of me bouncing around, I'll start at the front nose and we'll kind of just go around, because this is helpful for not only people looking at Volkswagen buses or Westfalias, but also, most importantly, for our customer. We can share what we're discovering as we're working on their bus. And this bus is going to be very important to them. They plan on doing a lot of driving and enjoying it with their family. So essentially what we did, this is the area where the radio antenna is, or the antenna base gets bolted on. So we've removed that, and then as I mentioned earlier, we've removed the windshield washer nozzles. I think the camera can probably pick it up. As the camera comes closer, I don't think you can tell how thick the paint is around here, but those nozzles have stayed there for quite a bit of time. And never looked after or removed properly. So we've got a lot of rust here on this windshield where the hinge comes out and it's threaded. You can see the rust that's trapped. I think the camera can pick it up. The rust that's underneath the paint and the body filler. So essentially what we have bare metal here, and then we have a dark, which is an epoxy from the factory, and then we have gray paint. And then you see this lighter yellow. This lighter yellow, I'm assuming, is the factory paint. And then we have this pinkish stuff, which is body filler. And then we have gray on top of that. And then as we come this way, you can see we've got a couple of layers of cream, but then we also have a couple of layers of clear coat on top of single stage paint. So we got lots going on here. So we started to sand like basically this front section of the nose to give us an idea. The camera can't pick it up, but it's extremely thick, the amount of product between the steel and the finished outside surface. And as we come over to the passenger side, you can see where we've stripped it down to bare metal. It's exposed some dents, and we have that pink stuff as body filler that's on top of paint. So they've done some, I'm assuming it's been stone chips and dings along here where they've been touched up and filled in. The disheartening thing is it hasn't been done properly because we have different products competing against each other. So here, for example, where we've taken the mirror off of this passenger door, you can see where the paint is literally peeling and flaking off, and it's fairly thick. And then as we come down to the door, this is what they call old school body filler. So instead of working the body properly and block sanding it out, what they've done, unfortunately, it appears so far with their testing, is they've put a thin layer of body filler on the whole panel and on the side panels and the side doors. So this is what they used to refer to as skimming. So if it has surface rust and door dings and scrapes or rust chips that are starting to pop through, rather than doing it properly, taking all the product down to bare metal and starting over, they're just keep putting product on top of product. So what's happening is everything is reacting and pulling away or pushing away from the product that's on top of it. So here you can see, once again, the different colors. I'm assuming this is the original yellow from 1978. And then we have this cream and beige. But then something's happened in between because someone has clear coated, and it's quite thick. There's a clear coat finish on top of the single stage beige paint. In most cases it's okay, but when there's body filler underneath the single stage paint and no primer, the single stage paint reacts with the clear coat that's put on top of it, and that's why I think the camera can pick it up. It's literally coming off in little kind of chunks as we're sanding it off to the body filler. So what we need to do, you can see here above the handle, is once again we have our bare metal, we have the different layers of paint, and then body filler, and it's quite a thick layer of this gray body filler till we get to the paint and then to the clear. So if you were to equate this in terms of layers of product, we've got about 9 layers of product on this door, and I'm assuming we're going to have that same result on the side doors and the back. So we'll continue this shortly. We're just going to take different sections of the bus and just share with you, because it'll be boring after a while, but you can see we have lots of body filler on top of the product, so we'll have to strip everything down to bare metal and then essentially start over. So I thank you for watching. I'm John from lastchanceautorestore.com.